Morning.
Okay. Well,
Hello.
Do it again, Ev. Do it again.
You're asking a lot of me this morning.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. Debbie, I'm the quiet one. You will learn that.
What
happened to the
along
sound?
with the rest of these lovely people. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Dolly, you are new to this group, so welcome. What I thought we would do today, really the idea is most of you, the last year and a half, we've been focusing on membership recruitment, membership recruitment programs, membership retention. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to kind of take a step back and what worked, what didn't work, lessons learned, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Kind of, your experiences, what you were excited about. Within this group, like I said, there's 8 courses. We've all done different things, had different types of membership recruitment programs. So I really, like I said, I think it's a time to kind of step back and figure out what worked and what didn't work. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Evelyn. We'll go to the next slide where I'm going to I always
Let me
go
put
at
the
it.
slides up. I didn't do it yet because I know you like to see everyone. So hang on.
I do. Well, you don't have to. You don't. There. It's kind of really what it is going over what we're going to do. We're going to do welcome and intros. What I just said about lessons learned. We're going to then. We usually do not have any problem with participation and speaking. Conclusions, comments. We're going to go a little bit over a Thrive update. I know the membership coordinators have not been really intimately involved with that program, but kind of give you a little overview of that because that program is going to continue next year. And then we're going to talk about future discussions. So we can actually go to the third, let's see. I think it's slide number 5. Yeah, the next one.
Yeah.
So who we have on this call today? We have 4 people from your regional management team. We have me, the membership coordinator. We have Alexis DePersia-Norelli, your marketing coordinator. We have Deb Saki, your communications coordinator. And we have Jen Weissman, who is an associate member on the RMT. And as I said, we've got participants now at this point from 8 different courses. For those of you that were on last time, we have had and will in the future, there was Monica, who is actually the director of Agora Hills Harmony Chorus in California, as well as the membership coordinator for Region 11, has been on in the past, but she was not able to be present today. So I guess, like I said earlier, we've all been involved in membership recruitment programs over the last year. And what we've got today is some of our, we've got team coordinators, we've got membership chairs and their teams. And we have several newbies. Well, actually one newbie from Liberty Oak Chorus. So now who said they had to leave early?
Mary from Twin County.
Mary, is there, over the last year and a half, what has Twin County done and what do you think's worked? What hasn't worked? What would you say are your lessons learned over this past year?
We got about 5 new members, I would say, this year. 4 of them stayed. 1 of them left for health reasons. And we basically just did our advertisements and we didn't do anything major. We just had our former director take the newbies off to the side, for a few weeks to teach them the basics of barbershop. And they loved it. I'd like to see us develop something a little more concrete for the next year, but we really haven't done anything overly special.
So were they were part of the regular rehearsal? Alexis, you can take us off this, you can get rid of the slide at this point because I'll let you know when we need to get back on it.
Yes, they were taken out when we were doing like section rehearsals in the beginning or for a half an hour in the beginning by our former director, Connie Cash. And then they were part of our regular rehearsals. They were given two songs to learn and they were given the rest of the repertoire and they just came up on the rises with us.
And it was a specific recruitment program. The advertising was,
No, not anything specific, no.
so how did they know to come in?
Some of them just, I mean, we put stuff on Facebook, we put up on Meetup, and several of them just looked up singing. They were just interested in finding some place to sing that was in the area.
And, it's interesting. I mean, Meetup is one of those things. And I think for those of you that have been on these calls before, we know that some things work for some choruses and some things don't work for other choruses. And it may be the area where you're located, who knows what it is. But just because something did not work one time, try again. And how many members? You said five?
We got five new members, yeah.
Okay, that are in the process now of,
No, that are actually in. They're actually in and with us, and they'll be going to contest, and they're all set.
okay. Okay, so those were your lessons learned. I mean, recommendations that you would make?
I think that there needs to be some sort of a program for new people that, as we're getting to contest, we're realizing how much we assume people know that they don't know, especially about contest, about how things work. So we're going to have a separate session to go over all that. But we're a very different type of singing, and I think they need some sort of a more of a one-on, not necessarily one-on-one, but a group to learn what the differences are. Like learn about coning, learning about different things within barbershop that a regular singer wouldn't know. So I think we need to work on that a little more.
So, hopefully someone will have, I think by the end of this, there's going to be many recommendations
Hmm.
where all that is concerned. And I will tell you, we in Spirit of Syracuse are at that stage as well. We've got the people in, but the whole idea of what is unique about us, and acronyms, and who we are,
Right.
what we do, and the music as well as the organization, all of that can seem a bit overwhelming.
Right. We are revamping our handouts that we give out every week, and we had a big discussion. As I said, we're in the process, and some of the stuff that we got from last time, we're trying to incorporate into our handouts. This way, people know what they're in for. You have to tell them how much they have to pay. Again, we're fight. That's always a battle with. Do we tell them today? Do we tell them in 6 weeks? How much they know? So we're trying to incorporate all that stuff.
And if we don't get a lot to that a lot today, maybe we will. Kim, I got you. I'll get to you in a second. Sorry, darling. Um, I think that's going to come out, in my opinion, from today as one of the major things that we can help each other.
Hmm.
Because I think that is knowing how much information, when to give it.
Right.
Uh, those are two crucial things, because people will either say, I didn't get enough information. I'm not staying because I didn't really think this was it. And again, we speak in tongues sometimes and we don't even remember that. We don't realize that.
Right.
Sorry, Kim, you were going to.
Oh, hi. Actually, I wanted to respond to Mary from Twin Counties comment about getting the newbies up to speed about what to expect. When competition is coming up, because that was a main concern of ours years ago. And what we started doing, Mary Demick and I, she did the writing. She wrote a little newbie newsletter that's specifically centered around competition and what to expect, how to prepare for it. And then we give it to our newbies in advance, like at least a week in advance. And then we held a Zoom where, if they came to the table with any questions, that's when they could do it. Actually, we did it in person, but then, the
Mhm.
pandemic. So now we do it on Zoom, and it's just much easier that way. And we do that before international as well. And we kind of expect our newbies to do like a full 18 months, before they don't have to come to these little Zooms anymore. Cause
Mhm.
that way it's like two regionals and then, an international, God willing. And so, yeah. So I just wanted to say that, I understand your concern about making sure that everyone is on the same page because we felt the same way when we were newbies. We were like, hey, I didn't know that. Hey, I was like, what can we
Right,
do to make sure
right,
everybody knows that so they don't come in like nervous because you have no idea how nervous they are until they come to this meeting they're like, thank you, because I really had no idea about that,
right.
like what's the pattern? What does that mean,
So
So
just so you know, March 28th membership meet is going, oops, it's that Phyllis Papalongo bothering me. Um, March 28th membership meet is going to be the convention experience. So it
Ah,
will be like last year. We actually have a video of a walkthrough of Jen Hunter and Deanna Sargent talking about going from the hotel, going to the ESPCC, and all the acronyms that we talk about. That's another part of that membership meet where we identify what some of the CC, the CRC, the OPL, the APL, the this, we throw all these things out. So we will have this video, we will have the CC, which is the competition coordinator, as well as the CRC, which is convention. I always screw it up. Regional convention coordinator, who's in charge of the whole thing. So they're going to be on the Zoom meeting. And Kim and Mary, maybe at some point, not maybe, I will be in contact with you. And some of the things that we talk about today, like the Zooms that you were running and the handbook that you have. Maybe we can make like a little resource library of some of the things that we have. You know, at the end of this, I will talk about some of the
right.
things that Sweet Adelines has available to us to use as a guide. But we're talking about handbooks. I know, you would think Spirit of Syracuse, we would have such a thing. Well, we don't have that handbook, and we actually have two members that are working on it right now. A handbook for the new members. We have bits and pieces. We have the costume sheets, we have these sheets, we have this, we have finance. Putting everything in one place, I think, is really important.
yeah, I'm sure we'd be able to share, our pre-competition newsletter. We tweak it, before every competition
Mhm.
because
Sure.
things change, but we'll find one, and we could share it and you can pass it out or do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
I'm sure Harriet will be okay with that. All right, Saratoga soundtrack. Before you start talking, I gotta say, looking at their recruitment session, whatever you want to call them, their recruitment program was prefaced by some really great social media presence.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
So, I'm curious, what were your lessons learned? What was good? What was,
Well, our membership drive was actually a one and done. We did a one evening thing, and as you said, we had a social media blitz to get people to come to our one night stand, as I said, and we got about 3 or so interested women, and out of that, we got 6 new members. And the nice thing about this is that a lot of our new members are younger. So we want to kind of bolster up our, our quarters with younger people. So which was really nice. But yeah, it was a one and done. We did well, we had different stations. We had them go to a station which talked about the finances and the nitty gritty of the chorus. There was one about costuming and contest. We had them, we sang for them, and then we gave them a quick song to sing, like a tag to sing with us. And all in all, it was a very successful evening. It was back in June, and the 5 members that we have that came and joined us are still with us. So that's great.
And when was it, in May?
June, last
June.
June.
And the videos that they did little videos, vignettes,
Yeah,
each section.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I had nothing to do with the videos. We had our PR person and our computer person put those together. But yeah, it was good.
And what were, go
Go on.
ahead, Alexis.
I'll go. I was just gonna say, small chorus wise, like this has been a thing for Sirens, is that since we tend to be on the smaller size, having those focused membership nights has been very effective for us because the human power required to staff rolling auditions and
Mhm.
onboarding people over the course of a year is very different. And so we find that we're able to um both be more effective in this way and not be stressing out like leadership and resources like that, but also make it so that as a group of humans come in, you're able to like kind of make sure they all have the same information as you go.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, Cheryl is being very, I don't know what the word is. The videos, each section did a video, and
Yeah.
what they were silly, they were goofy, they were fun, they were welcoming people to the chorus, and they if you have a chance, take a look at them. they would definitely, I think, entice people to come and join.
Mhm.
And again, the other point that you made is you had 20 people originally.
Yeah, 2023, something like that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the thing I think sometimes what I hear is, we want new members, we want new members, we want new members. But when you have, some people might be disappointed in not having more than 5. Oh my God, I think 5 is incredible and 5 is wonderful.
Yeah, we were thrilled to get
Yeah.
that many people, that kind of a response.
And
Yeah.
we're not for everyone. And sometimes we have to realize that too. I mean, we don't want to realize that. We don't want to think that way. But the reality is, or maybe it's not the right time that, a year from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, they may come back. But I think the more we're welcoming and the more we try. We try. What are you saying, Alexis?
I was just saying that it's still, so there's a stat somewhere. I don't know if it's a Sweet Ad thing, but usually when you do membership things, it's like if you want to get 5 new members, you need to have at least 20 to 25 people walk in the door. So if you have that happen over the course of a year or the course of a night, it's still a similar amount. You usually get like 20 to 25% of the people you get in the door to stay on the risers. Or at least that was the stat the last time somebody said something to me. So I don't know if it's still true. So it's very interesting to me to hear that that was literally what happened to you guys. You had like 23 people and you got 5.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
huge for a small chorus.
For a small chorus,
yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Is that including Emma or was Emma before that?
I'm trying to think. No, I think
sent
she
them
was
one.
before. She was just before that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So 6.
Yeah. Yeah, she's still with us.
1 by referral. I know.
Yeah. Traveling from New Jersey, but she's still with us.
She's like, I want to go to my first contest with them. I was like, yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's a bass too, so we're holding on to her.
Keep her. She's the best.
Yeah.
She may or may not be downstairs at my house right now. It's fine.
Oh.
Who is it, Cheryl?
Emma Kading, a friend of Alexis, she's a new member in our chorus. She sings bass.
For those of you that don't know, I believe Alexis started in Saratoga
Yeah,
Springs.
Alexis and I were the only bassists for Saratoga Soundtrack
The
when
original bass. It was like
the
us,
original bassists,
and
right?
then Deanna from Voce, and
Right,
Nancy, who's the director at the time, were the original tenors. We were just two and two.
right. And Nancy was director, so Deanna was doing all the singing for tenor.
Yep.
Yeah, humble beginnings.
Um, Evergreen. What do you
Hello.
think? Hi, Pat. Hi, Pat.
Hi.
Carol.
Um, uh, Basically, the only thing that's working for us is social media. People find us through either our website or Meetup, and we've gotten two new members over the past year, and we had a lot of visitors. Unfortunately, most of them, when they come in, one of the first things I tell them is that there are dues, and that turns most of them away.
Hey, I think I don't. We'll have to. I will talk to you specifically, but that discussion of when information is shared, how much information, and what is available. One of the, were you on the membership meet that talked about financial considerations? Um,
It's Was that the last one? No.
okay, so I'll go back to that, at some point, but take a look. I don't know if it's online yet, but I'll talk to you specifically. There's specific, I mean, look, our hobby costs money. We know that. But there are certainly things that we can do to mitigate those costs. Um, and we'll talk about them, at some point, you and I, if you want to.
Sure.
Okay. Um, there's just ways to make things easier for people. We're never, whether there's fundraising, whether there's angel fund, whether there's people within the chorus that will help people. There's certainly, I know our finance coordinator says that she never wants finances to be the sole reason why somebody can't stay, and to speak to her or leadership. But it's hard to do that when they haven't even become a part of the course or haven't been there, for a while. But I think if you explain those things earlier on, there increases the chance that they can be helped and that they will stay, and do not see that as the overriding reason for leaving. But the reality is some people cannot afford it,
Mhm.
Alexa,
Yep.
you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I always feel like it's that thing of like, first you have to get them to want to be there. And not get them to want to be there, but you have to show them who you are so they can say, yes, this is a place and a people I want to hang out with, right? And then from there, it's a matter of, yes, it does cost money to be here, but it's not like you have to pay to be here. It's we all chip in so we can do this, right? Because that's really what it is. It's not pay to play like if you don't sell 10 tickets to every show, you can't perform. Like it's not that. You know what I mean? It's not improv in New York City. It's we have a nice rehearsal space where the heat is on. We pay for that. You know what I mean? We sing music. People arrange that. We pay for that. You know what I mean? So it's more of the at least I think of it as being like operational or community costs versus like a pay to play, and also the way that that comes across differently when you're already feeling like it's a room you want to be in, if that makes sense. But I totally understand. And for some people it's just, you know what I mean? Like for like a church choir, to the most best of my knowledge, most church choirs, you show up, you sing, right? You know what I mean? So there are outlets to do that where cost is not an issue. But unfortunately, ours is not one of them.
And I also think it's important at that and this isn't going to solve the problem of the initial recruit, but along the line that you are very transparent with your chorus members and do that finance. We just did the finance, take the half hour. and you may be pushing your directors to take that time, but it's really important for members to know where their money's going and what a budget looks like, and maybe not in super detail, but one of our last ones, it was really fundraising, fundraising, fundraising. Now you don't have to do everything, but this is the budget and these are the costs. And I don't think, as Alexis said, people really, to keep the lights on, to the coaches that we have, whatever it is that we have, costs money. And I think sometimes when they understand a little more, but that's not a discussion you have with the newbie, but it's again, it's that fine line.
Yes, with the newbie, not with the guest, right?
Not with the guest, yes.
Not with the guest the first time they're there for 10 seconds. Oh, I forgot the gestures are on. It made my hand thing. Haha, hilarious. Low hand. But yeah.
Jen, I was going to go to Liberty Oak. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna to Alexis's point. I remember before I ever joined any Sweet Adelines chorus, I was looking at a variety of choruses, and one of the choruses I walked into, um, they hit me with dues
Yeah.
information right away, which I didn't
Well,
know because I hadn't started to look around that was pretty much going to be standard for everything that I was looking at. But the way they presented it to me made me feel like, why should I pay somebody to give them my talent? So, and I didn't feel part of the group yet, and I walked away feeling like, no, that group's not for me. When I went to a Sweet Adelines chorus, again, by then I had started to realize, okay, I am going to have to pay something in order to be part of some sort of singing group. But the way it was presented was much more welcoming. It didn't make it seem as insurmountable, also didn't make it seem like they were just looking for my money. And I don't know whether it was my attitude or their attitude or the fact that I already felt like this was an exciting place that I wanted to be. But to your point, yeah, there's a lot of different ways to present the financial information that can make it feel like that's all they care about, or that it's going to be not, that it's not going to be a fun place where I want to spend my money versus okay, this is just the way it is, and that's okay with me because I really love it. So since you were coming to me, I'll just go ahead and quickly summarize. We had our membership program last year, the class of 2025, run by my Quartet Balancing Act, where we had the 4 weeks of classes. And in those classes, we had handouts and a lot of information. Everyone was introduced to Carol, the membership coordinator, and she helped with everything. Last year, Liberty Oak had a total of 9 new members. One of them came in before the program. And then we had 6 people in the program, and they all ended up joining. 7 people were in the program, 6 ended up joining. One person since has had to leave for a variety of financial and health issues. And then we had 2 people come in after the membership program. One of them was an old member who was returning back to us, and one had just not gotten in. She hadn't heard about the membership program, and she came in a month or 2 later, just through social media and word of mouth. And all of those people, save the one that I mentioned, have stayed in the chorus. And I brought along with me today, or I asked Dolly to come in. She's our rookie coordinator. And then Debbie Gar is one of our new members. And I thought that they would be able to explain a little bit more about the goods and the bads of the program.
One thing just before those 2, because I think that's one of the things I think we need to do more, is to ask the newbies, ask the person who's gone through competition, and get their take upon about what the good, the bad, and the ugly. And definitely, Dolly, having someone who's a rookie coordinator is huge. But the thing before I go to them, what I would point out to is Jen and Balancing Act and Carol had a plan and had a detailed plan. So it wasn't just flying by the seat of, I'm not saying people fly by the seat of their pants, but it was a detailed plan. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
it involved marketing, it involved all kinds of stuff. Our program was in March after competition, but um, it's when it started. But the media push started right around Christmas time. And we had all kinds of assets that we were putting online, and we were developing the materials for the program. We were having Zoom meetings with the director and with the board, with our board to make sure that we had the budget that we wanted, and we had, I mean, all of this stuff was stuff that we did before we ever had the membership program. Nice thing is now it's set up and we're going to do it again, class of 2026, right after competition this year.
Dolly, Deb, who,
Yes.
go ahead. I can't wait to hear.
Well, as first of all, for those who may not know me, I was the regional management team membership coordinator in 2008 to 2014. So
I
been
didn't
there,
know that.
yes, been there, done that. So I appreciate all your hard work on the RMT. The rookie mentor, I stole that. Well, I started it in Hickory Tree, and I brought it with me when I went to Liberty Oak. So it's one person, me, who disperses the information to all my rookies. Instead of having, I know some courses have like a riser buddy, this, that, and everything else. That tends to confuse people if you don't give the same information or the correct information. So and Debbie will let you know honestly, I try not to overburden them with emails, but I do send them uh, email maybe to remind them, hey, you're wearing a black shirt this week, don't forget, or this is what's going on with regional. Does everybody have a roommate? So it all comes from me, which I find, helps. So, wait a minute. I'm in the midst of the dog being at the vet and my son giving me finger messages. I don't know what that means. But anyway, so I don't know. Debbie can probably answer questions about how much of a pain in the ass I am as the rookie mentor. But I'm a lovingly pain in the ass.
Absolutely.
And everything is organized. I mean, on Groupanizer, we have everything that's on there that you would want to know about competition. We have a competition handbook. Everybody knows way in advance what's going to happen.
It's incredible. Okay, so being the only newbie, and I thought it was important that a newbie could come on and let you know. Um, okay, so I'm 60 years old. I've sang my entire life everywhere, but never barbershop. I don't know anyone who ever did. I don't know anything about it except, the guys at Disney, the Dapper Dans. I think they're awesome. Um, and I was looking for a place to sing. I sang a different organization. So I did not know, honestly, about competition. I did not know about the dues or the finance or anything. I was just looking for quality human beings that also were quality singers, because that's what, I've sang in church certainly my entire life. And God bless all of us. Anyone can sing if you volunteer. And that's good. But this is better. If you're really into it, if you're into music, you're into singing. But I just literally, I saw on Facebook, wait, where did we go? The LOC was advertising. I don't know why hold on, there we go. They were advertising, and I actually saw Carol, and here's her business card. Do you like to
Yay.
sing? Okay. And that was all over Facebook. And I'm like, I do, I do. But I did use Google. Where can I sing near me? And looked at the different places. And I said, all right. So then I reached out to Carol because I saw it zipping on Facebook and said, so she told me, and let me tell you, extremely well done. I have here a folder. They did week 1 and everything, and then all about the parts, because heck, I was a soprano. What the heck does that, where does that fall in? Okay. Things like that that I had no clue. They were fantastic. Carol was fantastic, answered everything, just you can just ask her anything. And if not, she's just going to come to you and softly give you information, not overwhelming, which is great. The quartet who did this, Jen and her nice, kind, knowledgeable, welcoming. And, there was week 2. Okay. I mean, there's plenty of information, but again, simply put, we laughed, we sang, and Dolly, well, she is the biggest pain in the butt. No, just kidding. She's the best. And I agree that one person telling all of us, because this way we're all getting the same information. Whether it's, go ahead.
It's interesting hearing that from you all, because riser buddies, we all know they're not created equally. And some people are not meant to be riser buddies. And there was, Sweet Adelines did have like a little application process where I actually, it sounds ridiculous, but it's not,
Wow.
because not everybody is made, and not everybody is made to be a riser buddy. That's not their gift. Okay. They have other gifts. And this really, I think it can, I was going to say, I think it can work because you're a larger course, but I don't know about that. I think it's worth pursuing even with a smaller course, because then you need less people, and you're ensured that everyone is getting the same information.
Evelyn, when I first started it at Liberty Oak, there was some pushback, and I could tell that people were not, they were like, what the heck is she doing? She's new to the chorus. But of course, they knew my reputation on the RMT, so they figured, oh, she must know something. But, trying to make people understand that one person giving the information is the best way for the newbies. I had somebody come up to me once and say, oh, Dolly, so and so told me that you're going to get me a roommate for Albany. I said, what? So somebody on the risers who thought they knew what they were talking about now gave me a new job as getting roommates for everybody at the hotel. And I'm like, no, that's not my job, but I'll help you, do whatever. But yeah, I just think, and Carol I work with Carol. What Balancing Act did was outstanding. I was quite impressed with all of that. They did a phenomenal job. And we grew the chorus, and we have a lot of young members. Younger.
It's interesting because, Alexis, got the 2 points you just brought up. We all process and information differently. Some of us are visual learners, some of us, and so you got to kind of figure that out and hit all kinds of learners, because some people want all the information and some people don't want all the information. Right. Sarita, your hand is up.
You're muted.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions because it sounds like it was really successful. So, could you give a little bit of a overview of the different roles and responsibilities of the rookie coordinator and membership chair? I think I'm clear on balancing act, but just it would be helpful just to understand how that worked and the coordination of what information or what role you played and bringing those folks in.
Well, once the members, the newbies, pass their audition, then they are introduced to me, and I say to them, I am going to help you get through your first year of membership in Liberty Oak Chorus. And they say, thank God. So right away, they were like, thank you, somebody. So that right away, and I made sure that I just stayed in contact with them with any answers to any questions they had. And if I didn't have the answers, I asked somebody who knew the answers. But I think it's that someone was going to take care of them for the first year. And we also recognized them at our annual retreat. Debbie doesn't know this, but our
Yeah.
newbies, we have a special song we sing to them. They get a gift,
Mhm.
and that's after being in the chorus for a year. So it's nice. It's like a whole round,
Oh,
you know,
act
everybody's.
surprised, Debbie. Act surprised.
So it sounds like, but I guess just from my understanding, it sounds like maybe Carol was more responsible for the recruiting piece, and then you took
Yes.
over. Okay,
I
perfect.
take right. Now it sounds like a big job, but once you're organized as the rookie mentor and you know who your people are, you know, you email them with information, you talk to them at course. I find that I've become especially close to my rookies. Like I turned the other week and looked at Debbie on the risers. She had this expression on her face, and I knew right away that the warm up that we were doing, the newbies had not a clue what it was. So after rehearsal, I said, "Yeah, I saw your look," and it was done on Obis.
Oh, yeah.
So I got the copy of it. I sent it out to all of them, and I got responses that said, "Dolly, thank you so much. This was great." You know, just a little something like that, knowing that somebody has your back. You know,
Yeah.
that's my job.
And that's
That's great.
exactly it, because because when you're new and we don't know, say, the warm up, or we don't know what's happening next or what somebody is talking about, it just kind of taking, what Dolly does is just takes the obvious to everyone who's in there and brings it to us in case you didn't know what that meant, or in case you didn't know in 2 weeks where we're going. Just that little person. And it's super helpful because, see, I'm not afraid to ask questions. So that's why I'm the problem child. So, but there's a lot of people who won't ask the questions and they're not sure. So she puts the information out there, so we don't have to ask by
I
asking.
think also having a rookie coordinator, it makes that almost like a little cohort. Like the people who came in this year, they all get to be together, they get to learn things at the
Class
same
of.
time, and they end
Yeah.
up being they have their own little identity,
Yeah.
which is nice. Now this is our class of 2025, and they're probably going to have closer relationships with each other,
Mhm.
partially because of that. And of course, they're going to get to know lots of people in the chorus, but they're not alone at any point because they all got everything at the same time.
Right. I actually heard that somebody said to them, "Why don't all the rookies just room together in Albany, get like 2 rooms?" And I'm thinking, oh my God, that will be crazy. Because
It would
I
be
warned
good,
them
but
who
not
to
all,
stay.
but also not ideal because you don't then have somebody there to
Right. They
say,
don't,
They just have to be
right.
right across the hall from Dolly and they'll be fine.
You
yeah.
put the eyelashes on, false
Exactly.
eyelashes.
Well, thank you. You guys, it's great. Deb, sorry. Deb.
Um, so I really like that idea of handing off the people who are joining to a rookie mentor.
Yeah.
Mm.
But what do you do with the onesies, twosies that come in outside the major drive of, here's a big group, we're going to process them all together. But,
Same thing. We do the same thing, but just very one-on-one, and it's easy. We have a great um, packet of information when people come in. We let them know about the money right away. Not all of it, but about the dues and that there will be other expenses coming up.
right,
And
but more about like, are they like joined to the previous class or
Yeah.
they start
yes,
forming a new class? Okay.
Yes,
No,
we
they're
At
all
some point,
incorporated.
and
Yeah.
so, okay, they're kind of
let
swept
them
up in
in
the
with
whole thing.
us.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
Thank
We
you.
let them in.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. We let them
we
in.
let them
Well,
Just
because
like you're
I
the
can see
original.
somebody joining 3 or 4 months later feeling like they're catching up all the time, or
Right.
or not part of this group that's already bonded because they're going through it together.
They're still a member of the year, in my opinion. I think anybody who comes in, who came in like in 2025 or in the year after
Hmm.
it again,
Yep, that's good.
we just, they're newbies with us, whether they
Hmm.
want that title or not. We
Yeah.
just,
Okay,
Everybody
thanks.
should be a newbie coordinator, the rookie mentor, because it's so much fun working with these new members to see the joy and what I had how many years ago. It's just fun to watch that whole process.
Mhm.
What I loved about our group was that the class of 6, were none of them had previously been Sweet Adelines. This was really new people, which
Right.
I love that because that's totally different. And we have people during the year, two of the people who are new members. One was an old new member. She used to be in the chorus and left for various reasons and has returned. So she knows the ropes. And one was had been a member of another chorus and was a quartetter and came into the chorus. And they didn't need obviously the same kind of support. Um, and we love having them. Obviously, we want them to be part of the family, and they are, but they don't need the exact same kind of program per se. But the people who are really new, it's so exciting to have them get to experience this whole different way of singing, like you said, Debbie.
Mhm.
You know, just a point. I think that the providing information is critical. And the point you just made about some people that were previous members, a lot of times, though, I think, I'm not going to say you guys, but choruses, people come in and they come from different regions, they come from different choruses. We've got to be careful with them as well.
Right. They need to
Yeah.
know that what our culture is,
Right.
how we do things exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we
Well,
just
and
had Katrina, who is 942, who's, the Rising Star Quartet baritone, was in our chorus when she was 17 years old, goes off to college, joins great, what is it called? Nashville chorus, comes
Metro
back
Nashville.
comes back to Syracuse. We do things differently. And so you
yeah,
got,
that's one of my lessons learned is that I didn't take the care I should have to make sure she was up to speed with how things were now. So that's, like I said, one of my lessons learned, not to make any assumptions about somebody who's returning or a previous Sweet Adeline.
We're all human, right?
well, exactly. So that's what this is about. You learn, and you don't want to overburden. We don't want to overburden newbies. We don't want to overburden people that we think, oh my God, they're this, they're that, they're a music educator, they've done this before. It's all, they're still newbies, and asking them and finding out where they feel comfortable, what they feel comfortable with. I mean, it's information.
Yeah. Hmm.
Sarita, what do you have? Questions, things you'd like to share? What has Jersey Harmony done this past year?
Yeah, we don't have our membership chair with us. I'm the team coordinator, and I have my buddy here, Sandra here, who does all the communication. So she could definitely speak to some aspects because she's responsible for putting out a lot of the information that gets people to come to us, which is fantastic. We did a few things this year. I mean, one I think was like a come sing with us type program. So I think a little bit about like similar to what Evergreen had mentioned was I think we did have people come to that program, but I think we gave information right away that maybe scared a few of them off. So we definitely feel like we have lessons learned from that. So we didn't really, I don't think we had anybody come in from that program that stayed with us. Right, Sandra? I don't think so. So I think, one of our lessons learned there and, was just, the information like that program, I guess the way we're thinking of it is more like a program where you want people to like love the art, like love us, love the art form, love like everything about like just being there and not really telling them too much. That's not what it's about. It's actually about, dude, come sing with us, like enjoy this. Yeah, right. Like it's not about you're here to be a member. That's actually a separate piece. We want them to love it, fall in love with it first, fall in love with us first, and then then you can let's talk about membership if you still want to stick around. So I think we've learned that that's not probably a better way to go. So next time around, we might do something a little similar to that in a different way. Yeah, we haven't had too many members join us this year. So
No, because I think we're sort of in transition, we had a longtime membership person who, for various personal things going on, started to not be as much involved, and now somebody else new totally took over who did something else, and so we're sort of like trying to figure out again how to make it all work, I think.
yeah, our membership. Yeah, I think it's for yeah. To Sandra's point, it's truly a little bit of a transition with our membership share. So that's why I think it's really nice to hear these best practices from other teams. I mean, we're a tiny chorus. I mean, not maybe not tiny, but pretty small. And so it is maybe a little harder to divide up the responsibilities, but I like the idea. I think our membership chair classically had been somebody who did everything from the recruiting to the mentoring to the like everything related to the members. So I like the idea of making it a little bit of an easier job when you break it up as to maybe somebody's more responsible for the recruitment piece and the guests, and then somebody else that might be a little bit more, into the mentorship, rookie mentorship once they do become a mentor. So they really feel like they want to stick around because that's more about retention, right? That's like the recruitment and then the retention piece. So I think those are some good takeaways that I've taken here. So appreciate that. Go ahead, Chandra.
Yeah. And then in terms of the marketing piece of it, well, first of all, I go back a little bit. One thing that has been historically successful for the membership has been when we would invite people to come sing with us on stage. And so then they come, for a holiday concert, they learn maybe one or two, songs, and then they can get up and sing with us. That seems to attract people. And we have gotten members from doing something like that. In terms of a marketing, I remember one time I did something on Facebook where we actually paid a little bit of money to get it outside of our immediate Facebook followers. And even though I had contained it to what seemed like the local area, we got a lot of people responding to that, but then they were a little too far outside of our area. It might be that where we meet, maybe it's not as densely populated or something as maybe some of the other places. So even when we do a Facebook ad and we try to keep it into the local area, I don't know, we just ended up getting people that were a little bit too far away still. And we actually get more of our members from Meetup. Meetup still works the best for us. So
That's interesting. Well, you're talking about the one time with the specific, Deb can talk about because that's what's been utilized most recently in Spirit of Syracuse. Sing for the holidays, sing for,
right.
But there's lessons learned there as well.
Yeah. Our best, well, we've done 3 in the last year and a half. We've done 3 guest sing programs. We did Sing for the Holidays. The previous year, we did Sing for the Holidays this past year. And then in the summer, we did a new guest program where they got to sing the national anthem with us at the local baseball game. And also we sang at the state fair, and they were welcome to come up on stage and sing with us there. And I think the real key is that it's not promoted as a membership drive. It's promoted as have fun and sing with us kind of thing. And I think that really takes the pressure off trying to recruit them, so to speak. I mean, the hobby will speak for itself. If they love it, they're going to stick around.
Yeah.
So as a reason, just last year we had, and not everybody was from a guest sing program, which is part of the reason why I said, what do you do with these onesies, twosies? Because they always seem to trickle in. But we had 7 new people and 2 returns last year. And one of those people left already, but she was very, she really thought hard about why she was leaving. She joined because she knew she liked to sing and she enjoyed it, but she was not comfortable on stage. And she thought, this will solve the problem. I will get used to this. And apparently it wasn't enough for her to do that. So she at least understood herself well enough. And I don't think there's anything we could have done differently for that. That was just her personal comfort level. But so we've gotten quite a few through the guest sing program. And we've had a couple guest singers that like did both times. So it's turned out working pretty well for us.
Yeah.
But we also get a lot of people just find us on the internet. It's not even necessarily Facebook. I get inquiries, every few weeks somebody emails the webmaster going, okay, when can I come join? It's like, okay, well, here we go. We'll start that person on the journey.
We've also had some success with signs. We had one member pay actually, privately for a bunch of signs, come sing with us. and put them up in various places. Sometimes they get pulled off right away and they don't work, but every once in a while you might find a spot where they don't remove it right away. And we've gotten a number of members that way over the years. So every once in a while we have this huge stash. So every once in a while we just go out and put signs places. And
Yeah,
usually you get a couple people from that, and some of them become members. So it's
the
another
lawn sign.
the
Yeah,
lawn sign.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's how I became a member, like more than like 10 years ago. I saw the sign and I was like, wait, that sounds like it's for me.
Well, one of the things that's brought up is we've got, how critical it is to have your website updated,
Mm-hmm.
and those are things you can do with your Thrive funds.
Yes.
Because I will tell you, I go to some websites and it's like searching for the information. And if you have to search, people are just going to give up. So I'm hearing that too, that I think the websites are utilized a lot more. People are checking you out. They need to be up to date. Who didn't speak, Bonnie? What you got?
Hello. This is great, by the way. And I was going to say the tour you gave for the new people going to competition when you did the meeting with the tour, I had feedback from that one of our new members said that was very, very helpful. So I'm going to encourage new people to do that again. Um, and also this whole membership drive thing, two things. One is learning from each other. When I was at the Vocal Fest, I spoke to different courses in our region, and it was so great to, not be alone, to band together. So that's been good. We formed a little team within our management team, and we call it the MOD team. We're membership outreach and development. And so I'm membership, but I was finding myself taking on too much also. Um, so we have our publicity. She's new to the management team. She's just throwing things. She's contacting people everywhere, and that's obviously for performing, but it's also can be for attracting members because if you perform somewhere, somebody sees you and says, "I'm interested." So we've got that going on, and then we have two people doing videos and flyers. We're just, like I said, blasting things more often. One of the other things I took from here, I think it was Alexis, it's try it. Now, some of our members on the management team have been in here a long time, and they're like, this is a bad month. This is a bad time. I said, stop it. Because even if you get one member from that month, it's worth it. And so we've done like Come Sing With Us in the summer. We had so-so turnout. What's working great now is we're doing this January open audition, but we're keeping it simple and not too wordy. Just come sing a song of your choice, and we're making it specific, 6:30 to 7. And so they come, and we've had each week we've had at least a couple people. We had two the first week that are coming back right away. They loved it. One was a former member like 6, 7 years ago, and now she has time again. And then we have two more. We're getting people each week, and we're getting them from flyers, from newspapers, from Meetup also. We're still having some good luck with that. And what I do is as soon as I'm the contact person for that. So anybody who gets that information sends them to me. I right away email them and start a relationship with them and anything they have before they come in. So then I greet them when they come in so they don't have that scary feeling like walking into the door or looking for somebody. And then our director and maybe some of the music team, they go and have them sing their song. And it's amazing what some people pick. They pick some really elaborate stuff, but you can tell right away with their voices. And then we have them do warm-ups with us. And then we invite them. You don't have to stay for the rehearsal, but they want to. So I give them a little music book and they watch us sing. But then we let them do how we sang with us. And I was a little concerned watching us sing for that long. Is that going to feel overwhelming? But the response has been like they look so pleasantly surprised at our level of singing, that so I have tears in my eyes. So that's been great. And I had somebody contact us that said, I want to come in February. Is that okay? So we're trying to decide, of course it's okay, but do we have them come as an audition or just as like we would for any other visitor, have them just sing for our director. And I think we should extend it. I mean, why not throw it into February if it's working? Um, so the other thing is I've started to delegate, and what I learned is some of the newer members, and I see Debbie, you're going to be this person too, because you seem outgoing. Some of the newer members, they want to help, but they don't know how to approach you about it. So I just approach people and say, you would be great for this. Would you help with this? And that's working. And so instead of it, because that's how I got my jobs with people came up to me, and that makes you feel good. And once that's part of retention. And once they come in and start getting involved in that, they have a purpose besides just singing. I see something like kind of, I don't know, developing them. So we have a new librarian, because I was doing that too. Because our membership chair previous to me did everything. She was like, I think she even did like convention plans. So I said, I know I can't do all that. So she's taken over librarian, and she's doing such a great job. She's making new flyers and even putting them outside of our course and all. So this little sub team, I feel like we've got something great going here. And we also realize that it's sort of like Jersey Harmony, we're kind of developing a new, we've had some members leave, we've had some elderly members, have had to step back. So I feel like you can't expect it all to happen in a week or a month. I think it has to evolve. And I'm seeing that little by little we're catching on and just trying anything we can. Everything's worth it.
Absolutely. Deb?
You talked about approaching new members to ask for their help. Something I've done recently is ask last year's first timers to meet with the new members so they can share their experiences as a new member from last year. And not only does it give the perspective of, yeah, people have been through this before, but it also draws them into the role of helping.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they've been meeting before rehearsal.
I love that actually. And the other thing I've observed, because I know how I felt coming in, is, and my dad was a barbershop singer, so I knew about it. But when you're walking in and you don't know where to go and what to do, and I really feel like we have to hold their hand a lot, and we have to really give them the warmth of, we really want you to be here, And so they need a direction. Is this what you're going to do? After you do this, you're going to do this. But make sure you bring, water. Do you have water? We'll have an extra one. It's like little things like that. And then I've had feedback like, thank you for being so warm and welcoming. I mean, that's going to bring them back too. And we've learned the hard way of like giving them way too much. We've had people leave or not come back. This sounds like overwhelming, thinking, yeah, we probably threw it all at them. And we've had members where we've had to say, don't say so much. I heard a member saying, oh, we do this, and we compete, and we do that. And then it's going to seem like a lot. And then I was like, uh-oh, so that can be, got to try to steer them away from hearing too much. But one other thing I wanted to bring up is we had two members come from like one of our open sing with us. I think they came uh, in the fall. They both left. Now, one I know for sure, it's such a loss because she came in like singing and dancing, real outgoing. She got a promotion of a job. So I really feel that's legitimate. And she said, I can't do something halfway. I'm going to be traveling. The other one, I'm not so sure. And I think maybe the mistake, I don't know, mistake we made, or we did one of those come audition to sing a song in our show. But I feel like maybe it was too, I don't know, too much too soon. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't enough time because they came and they sang in our show for two songs, but they had to step out and they were on the side. And I'm just wondering, did that feel weird? Did that feel like weren't part of it. I don't know. I just got a sense that one of them, she had a look on her face that made me say, hmm. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that.
Go ahead. Who wants to talk?
I'll
Go ahead.
do.
Deb.
Go ahead, Jen.
I just had a question about that actually. Um, that's what Alexis just said. Do you do exit interviews with people who are leaving? Because I think that that's really helpful to find out what the reasons are.
You
Just ask
know,
them.
not enough and not formally enough.
None of us
That's a
do,
good point.
except I think you guys, you do LOC, yes? You do an exit interview? Uh, Yeah,
How do you do that?
I got one for you. I'll give you, International has an exit interview.
Okay.
Deb?
Oh, so I would think that yes, as a new person, the very first time I sang out with our group, um, I actually was away. We got an email saying a lot of people were sick, if anyone can make it. So I, you know, just while I was away and traveling back, listened to all the music and learned and learned and learned and learned and learned and said, I am willing to be there as a body. I listen and I forgive me because I know this is wrong, but if we were really shy of people, I know all the songs, I know all the words. I may not always stay with the lead part if I didn't have a lead near me, but I would never make a wrong note because I would go in with the tenor because I was always the soprano. So, um, and it was like, well, you can come and sing what you actually know and then step out for the others. And I'm like, I would rather not because it's just you're in a performance, even, and it felt really uncomfortable. So I almost didn't go. And then I'm going to tell you that all the members turned around and looked at me and said, just do it. And I did, and it was fine. And I think that is an awkward thing.
Okay.
I do know that we have made it, I think it's about sharing information and it's about being upfront. And if it is, but I don't come at this from as a new person, so I didn't have to step out. Uh, um, but if it was made clear that you were going to sing at this performance and you were going to sing these couple of songs, I haven't heard feedback that it was uncomfortable because they knew what the expectation was, that they were going to sing or they were introduced or welcomed up. I think that's the different way of doing
I
it.
like that.
Because so the whole chorus is singing and then the two songs that they've learned, we welcome them up to join us. So it's not like it's that just hit me. Because then you're welcoming.
And our chorus did that. I mean, after our introductory class and whatever for the spring concert that they had, they did make an announcement, and we've had a class and new members, and they're going to come up and sing these two songs, and they applauded and whatever, whatever, whatever. That was fantastic. I was what I was talking about the first time that I was singing out, so it would feel probably more like that if they were out somewhere and they could come up and come down, and it would, without all the announcement of what was going on.
I love that.
I think the opportunity to explain to the audience that we're getting new members and we have a few up here that are still learning and they have music, but we're happy to include them and actually promote the chorus as looking for additional singers by explaining the fact that people are getting up and down.
Yeah, Alexis is addressing that in the chat. MC work can make that more comfortable for sure, whether it's explicit about what's happening or just something that covers
Oh, yes, MCIC now.
transition so that it's not dead air while a number of folks come on and off.
Actually, our newbies have kicked butt learning music. It's, these are all new people that are learning all our repertoire. And I'm like, how are they learning all this stuff? But they're smart people. So and they're just dedicated and learning all this stuff to become part of the group.
Dolly, I didn't realize you started the Hickory Tree Rookie Program.
Yes.
We do still have that. We had one of our um, rookie membership coordinators. She left, so I have somebody with me now, and I'm kind of calling her like more like another assistant membership coordinator.
Yeah.
But we're doing that because all these terms, the people, like when I was there, I was like, what's a waller? And
Right.
even the terms in in like, oh, okay, diphthong is good, but scooping isn't. I don't know what all that means. So I think that's so important. And like you said, just to check in on them and see, how they're doing along the way. Yeah, so we're doing
And
that.
Bonnie, Hickory Tree has a great presence on Facebook because I see it all the time
Oh,
because I'm
good.
friends of the
Thank
course.
you. Hmm.
And it's very it's explained, very easy to understand what you're looking for, and it sounds exciting, so keep it up.
Good to know. Thank you. Yeah, because
Yeah.
like I said, we have some great social media people.
Yeah.
Pat, anything you want to add? Sorry.
Not really. I think like as far as the thing with people not wanting to stay with the fees and stuff, I do think we need to get them hooked first. So they need to want to be there, and to the point where the fees, they'll accept it. That they, the joy of staying with us, the joy of being a member outweighs the financial impact. They'll make a way to stay with us. That's just my
Yeah,
thoughts.
I agree. The value, they place value in it.
Um, Carol, do you want to add anything from HCC's perspective? I know you're a member, not necessarily a membership team. I'm not sure.
Um, I know our membership team has done some great membership drives. We get quite a few members in when we actually do a drive, or not members, but participants. And we have attracted some younger members, but I'm not really sure exactly what they do to do that. I know our marketing team is always out there on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and keeping the website up to date. But other than that, I'm not really sure what else they do.
So thank you everyone for, oh my goodness, for participating. We're not done yet, so don't get excited about being done. I just wanted to thank you before I forget to thank you. One of the questions in the RSVPs was what this person would like to know more about is how to recruit women of color. So I specifically asked a woman of color in our course because what the heck do I know? I mean, I can know about marketing, I can know about diversity and equity, but this is an N of one, and it is something Alexis and we talked about before this, and potentially maybe one of the future membership meets we will ask someone from international to talk. But it was really interesting what I said to Alexis, what I learned from this person really has been reinforced by what you all were saying today. And what this person said to me was marketing and promotion in places where people of color frequent is crucial. And the product, okay, whether it's quality singers and quality humans, that's going to attract them. Uh, um, ask people, uh, um, talk to people. so many are not, regardless of whether they're women of color. We heard Sarita talk about people are not aware of barbershop. You know, again, the Black community is not any different. You know, they may not be aware. So we've got to go to them. They've got to be exposed. We've got to, yeah, so we got to go where they are. That's what one of her comments to me. And a good musical product is what's going to draw, and that's what's going to draw anyone. Um, and what we're putting out there, one of the things she said was the repertoire, but Alexis also, and you can speak to this a little bit, what we're putting out there as far as our musical, our visual message, our makeup, all those things are part of who we are and what we put out there. So, you know, like I said, maybe we'll talk about this in the future. I also think we'll talk in a second. I'll get to you, Alexis, in a minute, because you know I'm very concise and to the point, which I'm not. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, it's the same thing as attracting youth members. I don't think it's, I'm not going to say it's the same thing, but some of the issues are similar. So, Alexis, with.
I was just gonna add one thing in that way where Sirens rehearses in a place where we have more diversity around us. So you would think we would have, not just a chorus full of white ladies, but we're still mostly a chorus full of white ladies. And but that's like a thing that we've definitely talked about, and it's changed over the years, different things like that. But one of the pieces of feedback we got was also to look at like what's your repertoire, right? So are you also singing people things that people from all different backgrounds are going to want to sing? So whether that's like HCC's got a lot of I think about like a lot of like 60s music, or like, oh, we've got all this Beatles rep. Do you have any Motown? You know what I mean? Like if you're like, even if you're like, we are of a majority of a generation within a singing group and we really love this music, that's great. But also looking at the people who sang those songs too, and reflecting and looking at that, right? Like if all you've got is your your barbershop standards and your whatever, then people might think that's cool and do it. But also if it's something that they are familiar with, then it's also something they might be more likely to wanna join. So there's also that thing too of this is cool, but also can I see myself as a part of this thing? It's kind of the next little I don't know, like turn of the thinking screw.
Any other, I mean, would it be beneficial to have someone maybe from international talk to us? You know, who's this is one of their areas of interest, expertise. Yes, no, maybe.
I would think it'd be helpful to hear another person's perspective, but I really appreciate what you got from the one member you asked, because that is a great message to take back to our efforts to reach out.
And also just lessons learned, right? Like over the course of time. Like I have there's the whole and choruses have gotten further and further away from a very uniform makeup plan or different things like that. But I have seen a situation where it's like, here's the foundation we all use. You should use whatever you use. Not inclusive, not helpful. Right? Or we've picked this color that everyone's going to wear. That looks good on some people and looks horrible on other people, right? So another reason that some of the more individualized looks within contest or just in general are also great is because then people can tailor themselves. So we're all for example, with makeup, right? We're trying to make our faces as defined as possible so that the things we are expressing can be seen to an audience. That's the real goal of makeup,
Correct.
right? And it can also make you feel different or make you look like a different character. And those are also options. But if in general you're approaching your music as we are humans singing this song and we have defined facial features, right? Thinking about how feminine or masculine or how hyper, because there's a lot of hyper femme presentation within sweet ads, and it can be hard depending on what your personal presentation is too, because like I'm very like that. I'm very girly and I love lipstick and eyelashes and all that stuff. I sing with people who hate that crap, right? And they can still get on a stage, have makeup on their face that makes it so that if they're feeling things, the people in the cheap sheets seats can see it, and so that they also look like they prepared for the same performance I did without having to make them
Look,
wear something that makes them feel out of place to do it, right? Which then also makes it harder for them to sing a song that is heartfelt or a message that is personal. So just thinking about the way those things affect membership as well.
and that is one that visual communication has changed, has progressed, has changed. I mean, if you look at that category, there's so many misconceptions about the visual communication category, so that might be something, as well. Um, let's go on to a slide. Alexis, can we the mission retention, the playbook? I know some of what you're saying, I think what we've shared is really crucial, is really important. And I'm going to get my hands on some of these, and whether we have them, maybe the next Vocal Fest, be able to share some of our handbooks. It's definitely not a time to do it at regional convention, but maybe ahead of time, this is something that we can share. But seriously, take a look. There are navigating Sweet Adeline's website. It can be frustrating, to say the least, but there is some good information there. And the mission retention, the playbook, is someplace that I would say to you all, take a look at, because in putting together some of these classes, a lot of the information is there. And there's information like, for example, information that's important to share and to incorporate in handbooks. There's onboarding programs. There's membership programs through the first year. So just, if you're at a loss, just take a look sometimes at that information. It might spark. There is information there, is what I'm saying. The surveys are there. Exit surveys are there. There's a lot of information. Sometimes, as I said, it's a little tough to get through it all. But I'm here for you. And so is I believe each one of you has a liaison with the RNT. So there's someone on the RNT that you can go to and ask questions. And if it's membership related, they will ask me. Next slide, Alexis, is blank. Oh, you changed. Okay, so just, there is a program that's Sweet Adeline. It's an SAI initiative, and it's called Thrive, and it's to help regions increase vibrant engagement, and it's a pilot program. And there's, again, all sorts of information on the website, but the gist of it is, Sweet Adelines did a little research and found what the main reason why some chapters are folding are not musically related. It's there are other reasons. And the next page, the next slide, this program. So it was, the goal of Thrive is to maintain and increase member retention through programs focused on non-musical needs. So it's course administration, it's membership recruitment, retention, it's finances, it's marketing. And go on to the next slide. So course TC's presidents and directors were sent an email, and what Region 15, Alicia and I, the education coordinator, we split. Yep, it's about building a healthy chapter, not just, what are you saying there? Not just a healthy ensemble.
Yeah, not just a healthy performing unit, but a healthy, the chapter, the administration. There's the administration and the artistic and on all that we do. People who are on this call know that, because you know what I mean. We're literally talking about the how do we make the cogs turn better so more people can have the fun, right?
So one of the things, if you've been on any of these membership meets, you know that I'm pretty passionate about this whole concept of a mission, a vision statement, knowing who you are, where you are, helps you, whether you're designing marketing programs, whether you're welcoming new members in, whether you're planning events, understanding what your vision is, who you are and where you want to go will help you get there, will help you define how to get there. So the Thrive program, you can utilize the funds to work on updating or creating a new vision or mission statement. You can work on governance structure. You can work on formulating a plan for membership recruitment and retention, which I think it seems like everyone in this group is actively working on. You can work on community relations, marketing, websites, branding, logos, financial health. You can get someone to come in and talk and work with you on fundraising, and also leadership development. So that's just be aware that's out there. Questions about Thrive. I know membership coordinators weren't really the focus, but hopefully your TC's presidents and directors have discussed this with you. Any next slide? Questions, comments, concerns? So no, the next membership meet, which is February 28th, the title is Youth Membership and Retention, Building the Future of Sweet Adelines International with 942 Quartet. So they are the winners of the Rising Star contest. They are all members of Region 15 and Spirit of Syracuse Chorus, and they will be putting together a presentation focusing on youth membership and retention, which seems to be a question that a lot of people have, and a lot of people, but there's a lot involved. And then the next one on March 28th is the convention experience. So you can start talking to your newbies and giving them this information. I will get out an email soon. We have Region 15 convention, April 23 to 26. I think we're going to do, and if we're going to do again, get all the newbies, the first timers, the people who are competing for the first time, to come up to the front of the room and get a group picture at the banquet. Director Music Team Day has been scheduled for May 30th. The where, we're not sure yet, but again, we've spent time talking as membership, as team members, but we need to get our directors involved as well. And that's, I don't know if that's specifically what they're going to talk about, but Leadership Day is Director Music Team Day, May 30th. Vocal Fest, I don't know if this has been announced yet, but the 2026 Vocal Fest, the guest faculty is Nikki Blackmer, who is the director of Acapella Joy, as well as is she the baritone for Frenzy, Queens of Harmony?
She's the lead, but she is singing baritone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's singing baritone in Voxy, which is a quartet that went to international for the first time this year, and she wasn't with them then, but she has just become their baritone.
And know that if you go to her website, I was pretty impressed. She took Acapella Joy, I think there's like 60 of them at this point, and when she took over directorship, there were 7. So she definitely knows something about building a small chorus. And then I don't know when Leadership Day is, but I put it on there because I thought I might know by the time we talked. But You look like you have something to say,
Yeah,
Elaine.
sorry, I couldn't find my sometimes when it goes full screen, the controls disappear on me. This year the leadership day is instead of being kind of general leadership day, it's going to be specifically directors and music teams.
So it is
And
the May
and
30th.
yeah, and Alicia's plan is that it'll rotate from year to year. So one year it'll be very specifically directors and music teams, artistic teams, and then the next year general leadership day and to do an alternate. And that information, I think we're hoping to get the emails out the very beginning of February. I'm working on graphics for it currently. So it all the information will be coming to you. Harriet and Alicia have been scheming wonderful schemes about education in that area.
Evelyn, thank you for this because back in 2008, when I was on the RMT, we were involved in the harmonic progression where we were getting
Yeah,
together
well,
16 and 15. Oh my God. We had no time to do any of this great stuff. And I don't think we were ready for it back then because that seems like a million years ago. But it's great to see all of this happening now because we need to build the organization even more.
and we need to collaborate and we need to share.
Yeah.
I think, you know, that's what we're doing. And it's really been, it's been great because people have shared and have collaborated. And, you know, that's the way we're going to maintain the health of this region. Thank you, Dolly.
Thank you.
I think we can stop recording and thanks everyone. Any questions?